Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 37 for December 30th, 2020, the last episode of 2020.
Yep.
I'm Nemesis, and I'm joined, as you heard, by Alcatraz.
Hello.
Final episode 2020, because this nightmare year is hopefully almost over, unless we all get to the, 31st. Clock rolls over December 32nd, 2020.
Or just a new month that we've never heard of before.
January 1st, 2020, New Game Plus.
No. I did not sign up for NG Plus.
I don't want this.
Don't want this.
But anyway, yeah. Let's see, World of Anime, everyone's gearing up for the winter 2021 season. That's about to hit.
Yeah.
Including, I believe it's a
Eurocamp
season 2. I believe actually Promised Neverland season 2 is coming either this coming season or the season after that. There's something else that's coming season 2 we watched.
Coming up.
I remember. We haven't talked about it on that podcast yet. Uma Musume. That's one probably we're going to talk about it after this next season's done.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
We're gonna have to probably have to talk
I've been keeping up with most of the stuff we talked about for the fall season back up a couple months ago.
I haven't. I've been otherwise occupied.
Right. Yeah, I've been keeping up. I've watched all of them. The only thing is Akudama Drive and Adachi and Shimamura. I haven't watched the final episodes yet of their seasons because they just came out over the last few days. So it's like,
right.
I don't like to watch other anime while watching stuff for this show.
Right.
But
don't want to cross the streams.
The rock climbing one that finished last week.
Right.
Yeah, I want to be, like I said, kind of pretty predictable by the numbers. You could also see in this one the budget was gone by the end.
Ooh.
Lots of single frame montages. And the big, it's like it's a sports anime, so the whole thing of, oh look, we got the big finals, the underdogs we've been following are going to win the big championship thing. It was such a non-event. Is like, wait, was that really it? And yeah, but Akudama Drive was been going places like, oh man, I cannot wait to actually sit down and watch the final episode. And Adachi Shimamura has just been really gay, and I relating way too much to Adachi because she's just awkward and useless all the time. overthinking every single social interaction, basically.
Oh God, that's just my life there. That's just my life.
Yeah, that's been fun to watch.
Sure, just it's like that one, the Sailor Moon texts with Mercury. Okay, just give me a couple days to overthink about this. Yep. That sounds.
That's how it goes.
Right. That's just how it goes.
Oh yeah, Evangelion apparently 3.0 plus 1.0 had a special early screening on Christmas Day for some people in Japan, which is like
interesting.
I'm hoping you guys were not being stupid about it because there's still a pandemic. As much as we'd like it not to be the case, it's still going.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the thing that's been going on.
Yep.
But yeah, we're here to talk about actually pretty old anime. And a very somewhat obscure one too. Yeah, it's called Kashimashi Girl Meets Girl.
Not Boy Meets World?
No, not Boy Meets World. Not Girl Meets World either. It's essentially, it's a rom-com, and it, love triangle, all that stuff. There's obviously some twist to it, but yeah, it came out actually. It's just shy of 15 years old as this was recording because it came out in January of 2006.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh God! And
when it came out, the iPhone was not a thing yet.
Yeah, but you just said 2006, and I was. When I think, it's really old, so that's got to be like 90s, right? Or 80s.
This was almost
2006 and still being old, and it's like, oh, geez, don't remind me how old I am.
The 360 had just come out.
Oh, no, don't say the 360's old.
The 360 is 15 years old.
No.
At this point in time, when this was airing, I had just about to get DSL internet moving from dial-up. I hadn't moved from dial-up just quite yet.
2006?
Yep, early 2006.
Oh, man. Okay, so early I had probably just started to use the name Alcatraz online during that time. Because it was late 2006 that I added the 7. I did the 7 instead of a T.
When this came out, I was just about to graduate high school.
I was almost there. Because I graduated the year after.
But yeah, this anime is based on a manga of the same name. And it's about Hazumu Osaragi, who, well, very effeminate boy. Very effeminate, likes flowers, all this stuff. Often, as we called, you're a lot like a girl to their face.
Yep.
Eventually, one day goes out into the forest because he'll kind of in a bit of melancholy mood because he's confessed to a girl named Yasuna Kamizumi. She turned him down, and kind of dejected. And
then
then
the whole I just got rejected. I'm really hurt, so I'm gonna run off and be by myself.
She's kind of just out there with the flowers, and then an alien spaceship crashes on them, and yep. And then the alien spaceship goes, yep, sorry about that. Here you go. Oh, by the way, we accidentally made you a girl. No way to reverse it. Bye.
You just described it basically the same way I was going to. It's just giant spaceship shows up, boops him on the nose, and goes, oh, now you're a girl. Bye. Our bad. See ya. It just, I just,
Yeah, so from there on out, it's kind of basically rom-com adventures with a somewhat naive girl, just kind of learning the ropes of being a girl. Also, childhood friend Tomari Kurusu, who is a bit of a tomboy, is very much a tomboy, and
bit.
Yeah, and then the love triangle because Yasuna and Tomari both like Hazumu, although Yasuna turned her down, but there's reasons for that initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the love triangle and drama and all that stuff. The usual, actually. And if I'm going to be honest, and this is actually for the most part fairly cliche. It hits a lot of the cliches romance does, outside of the setup of alien spaceship crashes and turns boy into girl. Outside of that, it's a fairly cliche thing.
I still cannot get over that.
Yeah. And
the spaceship.
Yeah, it's so it's actually honestly a pretty cliche romance love triangle story. There's really not a whole lot to it, and honestly, I would actually say, as overall, having seen it now for the third time and second time in my adult life, it's actually pretty okay. Nothing pretty amazing about it. It's just it's an all right thing, just nothing particularly great about it. Honestly, it just has. It's just for me. Just the reason is we're talking about is because got a bit of meaning for me. It's important to me, even if it's not great.
You say it's not great, but I actually did enjoy it fairly well, especially when things got a little bit more interesting near the end. Interesting. I'm trying not to just spill it all now.
Yeah.
The whole love triangle, although I do find it funny because it kept playing with like, oh, is it gonna be a 4-way? And then it keeps like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, the three main characters, as we said, Hazumu, Yasuna, Tomari.
Yep.
And yeah, there's of course other characters who show up and they do their thing, and they're supporting characters. But yeah, Ayuku Marie, she's kind of like the voice of wisdom a lot of times.
Yep, Ayuki.
Yeah, Ayuki. And then Asada Soro, who's just an idiot who thinks a little too highly of himself sometimes.
Asata.
Namiko Tsuki, who's an English teacher.
Namiko.
35 years old, never had a boyfriend.
Never had a boyfriend.
Oh, and the aliens as well. Hitoshi Sora
also
and
the
Janpu.
Janpu.
Yeah, they show up, and yeah, Namiko kind of falls for Hitoshi, and Hitoshi's just kind of oblivious because he doesn't really care. And we find out there actually might be a bit of a reason for that.
Yep, later on.
Janpu's the ship. No, really, she's the ship.
That's not unusual. Remember, we did watch Andromeda.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
Rami.
that, or I guess Mass Effect 3.
Sort of.
That sort of thing. You get, the ship gets their own body to run around in.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway.
Which was also Rami in Andromeda, which was first.
Yeah. Which was first. It was first. No, shut up.
Of course, with Andromeda, there was 3 of them. There was the hologram.
We're not here to talk about your nerd stuff. So anyway, yeah, the big thing about it is Hazumu has to basically, particularly in the early stuff, is Hazumu's basically learning to be a girl.
Yep.
Because, as they said, no going back.
Nope.
No going back. You're a girl now. And so she has to deal with that. And including the weirdness of her own parents. And a lot of people at school are just like, yeah, okay, you're a girl. It's cool. And it's like, yeah, you can go in the girls' locker room to change. Yeah, it's fine. No problem. You're a girl now.
Fine.
Of course, also big media circus because, well, aliens announce themselves like, yeah, here we're here. And we just turned a boy into a girl.
Oh, my God. I still cannot get over that. Just so up on the mountain, and this spaceship just falls out of the sky, hits Hazumu straight in the nose, and stops.
Yep.
Boop. And just boops him in the nose. Boop.
Well, it was a little more in boop because, kind of almost died, but.
Right, but the ship still instantly stops. And then just appears in the sky and goes, and then announces to the entire planet, oh, we hurt this person. We rebuilt them, but they're now a girl, by the way.
Bye.
Our bad. Bye.
Well, apparently because
imagine
there's
aliens just randomly showing up and outing you to the entire planet.
But yeah,
just
apparently because it's policy to say if you screw up like that, you're supposed to sue that. According to that.
Apparently it's according to the law. There's space law.
Space law. All right. So that's a large chunk of it. So basically, hey, yeah, don't sit there flapping your skirt up and down just because it feels nice. No, don't do that. Also, when you go up the stairs, cover yourself so the boys don't look at you.
Yep.
So on and so forth. And of course, Tamari has to do this and even though Tamari's not very feminine at all, but she's the one who has to do all these things.
Yep. And that was actually an interesting one. That section, because there's a lot of that. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of things that a guy wouldn't even think about having to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you need to know these things going in. You're just like, what? But there's also some things that like Tamari starts teaching Hazumu. It's like, okay, that's not really a thing that you have to do, but that's kind of, you don't really need to. Oh, you have to be this way if you're a girl. It's like, you don't have to do that.
But Japan, though.
I know, it's Japan, and it's also mid-2000s.
Yeah.
Back then, there was a lot more of that.
Yeah. Then you got Yasuna showing up, and yeah, the whole thing was Hazumu and Yasuna developed a bond over flowers and whatnot, and then, yeah, Hazumu got feelings, and Yasuna turned her down initially, but now it's like, no, wait, hold on there. Actually,
wait a minute, hold up. Ein Moment, bitte.
Yeah, one of the things I think I like about this is we see how different characters react to, well, I guess the transition, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's obviously, I mean, we're talking about this, we're kind of dancing around. Yeah, the whole, some undertones of transgender stuff, although it's kind of, if anything, this anime is kind of more along the lines of the gender bender type thing, which sometimes happens in anime and manga, which isn't really necessarily trans per se. It's like, one of the most famous ones is Ranma, for example.
Right.
Although but you can still, it's like a trans person can still find a lot of meaning in these things, even if they weren't intended. But
I think this one has a lot more intention to be like
kind
a
of, sort of, but there's a lot of,
with the whole pre-girl Hazumu, there was the whole mention of everyone going, oh, you're like a girl, You're like a girl, and then we start seeing like in the flashbacks, Hazumu still acted a lot like girl, like wearing dresses and had all those things. So it's like, this seems more like they're trying to almost explicitly say this is a trans thing.
What I've read up on, not really, wasn't supposed to be.
Oh, well, that's what it sure
Yeah,
feels like.
well,
when
that's
I
because
watch
you're
it.
watching it through a 2020 lens with a lot more information.
Possibly. Oh.
Because again, there's a lot of the stuff. It's just a lot of the gender bender type stuff accidentally run straight head on because the nature runs straight into trans stuff because of the very nature of them.
Right.
And that's the thing is, which I do appreciate how we see how a lot of the characters react to. Well, Hazumi's a girl. Deal with it.
Yep. Deal with it.
And when this thing, a lot of them are different reactions. Her parents are like, "Well, we've always wanted a daughter," and
well, her dad.
Yeah, her
is
dad.
A bit
That's a big problem
about it.
A bit of a problem, but yeah. One of the things there is just simply we also see in flashbacks. Yeah, even back when Hazumi was a little kid, would dress up in little dresses and everything, and there's times where being bullied and Tamari had to come to the rescue.
Yep.
Because Hazumi's just.
And that's actually how they bonded.
Yep.
That's because she came to Hazumi's rescue.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's different reaction. Yeah. Fortunately, Hazumi's dad is very pervy for some reason. Because and it's just played for comedy, which is annoying.
Yeah,
that was one of the things I forgot since I watched this the first time when I was a teenager.
Yeah,
I just forgot in the interim 14 years.
Yeah, I say, God, that's what, half your life ago.
Yeah,
just about.
Yeah, but as the thing is, his dad's really pervy about trying to trick her into taking a bath with him and whatnot, and just using her gender because initially she just kind of doesn't understand some of these things. Like, why can't I just do that? Because one thing, she's talking to her male best friend, Asada, and he's like,
"Yep."
She's just talking about her boobs. You want to see them? Okay.
It's like,
and then Tamari comes like, no.
Yeah, and that's one of them. Asata, you're an idiot. You're supposed to say no.
Yeah.
But
teenage boy,
I can't exactly blame you for saying
teenage boy. Suddenly, cute girl says, "Hey, you want to see my chest?" Yes.
You're supposed to say no, but I get it. I understand. Yeah.
And that's one of the things, speaking of Asada, his whole thing was him kind of struggling with the fact, his best friend is now a girl, and also he's attracted to her, and that, kind of the initial kind of weird discomfort and denial initially until kind of accepting it, and then, yeah.
Kind of not, and the kind of, he just, yeah.
Yeah, initially he had that he was struggling with, this is my best friend, I can't be attracted to her. Well, but I am, though. Because, that's the whole thing. The emotional thing, bond's already there.
Yep.
So it's like, I already like this person as a person. So now they're actually attractive too. So, oh, wait, but they,
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, the problem is, well, then he thinks that, every single thing that Hazumi does with him must be a sign that she's clearly head over heels for him, right?
Clearly.
And then later on, he even starts thinking, no, even Yasuna's into him, right? Right? No.
Yep. No.
No, dude. You're not part of this romance story. You're a bystander.
Yep. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, they keep, toying with the, maybe it's a four-way love circle. But it's like, is it? No, it's not.
Really.
Is it? No. And they keep purposely, just doing that for the point of humor. At Asata's expense, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he gets a... Yasuna is just kind of like it. Well, for the Yasuna has anime disease. VS anime disease. Basically, they made up a disease for her that doesn't actually exist, but is kind of similar to something real. Like, for example, there's people in real life who, because of a condition, they have a hard time recognizing people's faces, or then sometimes it's outright impossible for them.
Yep, that is an actual thing.
But they kind of warped it for this. And for her, she just sees men as just gray blobs.
Gray blobs.
So, which is not a real thing.
No, not really.
But anyway, she said gray men as gray blobs, except for Hazumu. She sees Hazumu just fine. And so she bonds, but then she's freaked out that that's the reason she turns him down, because she's freaked out that something's gonna go wrong. So because she saw the whole thing is keeping people away from her, keeping a distance from everyone, just because she's always had when it comes to men in particular, she's kind of like, And the problem is you can't just be with, talk to women, because eventually a man's going to show up and then you're going to be all weird. So just stay away from everybody.
Stay away from everyone.
Except then the husband turns into a girl. That kind of changes things a little bit, and then then things progress from there. But we'll get to that a little bit. But and she's just pretty much like kind of like, all right, Hazum is a girl, and I'm find her attractive, so okay. So her thing is not so much as that Hazum is a girl, so much as just Tazmu is a person that she doesn't, that she cares about, doesn't want to hurt. That's it. That's why she initially keeps her distance until she goes, no, I'm going to go for it.
Yep.
Tamari, which I find interesting, Tamari actually has a really hard time accepting it initially. I found that interesting. She genuinely seems to have a hard time accepting that Hazum is a girl.
She does. Yeah, I would actually say that Yasuna did a little bit, not as much as Tamari, but Yasuna did. One particular thing that I noticed with both of those two, for a long time, both Tamari and Yasuna were using the wrong pronoun.
Yeah, that was a thing. They weren't the only ones. I'm not sure if that was an issue with the original audio or with the translation, because I noticed that changed. For me, coincidentally, the changeover for the correct pronouns popping up happened on the 3rd volume DVD. So it makes me wonder if that was a translation issue where they went, oh, we kind of screwed, we weren't thinking about it, and we just fixed it for the final release.
Yeah, so that's one thing I noticed, is like they're using the wrong pronouns, but other people are using the right pronouns. I don't know if that was intentional, because then it changes, and it changes not just at a certain DVD, but that was also a major story point as well.
A little bit.
Their relation with, I keep forgetting it's Hatsumu's, I keep mixing up her name, but yeah, there's a major story point, and the relationship changes there, and they start using the right pronoun. So it's like, was this a translation issue, or was that intentional?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, partially because pronouns are very different in Japanese. The whole pronoun situation is a very different thing in general in Japanese. But yeah, Tamari just initially has a hard time accepting it, and partially probably because Tamari had been carrying a torch for Hazumu for quite a while, and suddenly Hazumu is a girl, and what do?
Well, that and Tamari had basically accepted that she wasn't in the running.
Well, yeah,
because she had been sort of pushing Hazumu towards Yasuna a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was actually a story point that Aoki brought up. You wanted that to happen so that you could finally let go.
Yep.
Tamari's had a thing for Hazumu since ever, but thought that she wasn't there. But then this happened, and now she still has feelings, and now she's confused, because, like, I still have feelings, but she's a girl now. Does that end struggling? And then ended up finally like, no, I want this.
Yep. Yeah, it's but yeah, it's just one of those things like, oh yeah, I was attracted to this person, now they're totally different, I'm confused now, and it's upsetting. She reacted very poor. She doesn't react well to things that confuse her.
Nope. She just kicks things.
Yep. Particularly Asita.
Usually Asita, yes.
To the point of there's a joke where he says something stupid, and then he realizes it's stupid and immediately cowers, and I'm usually used to getting kicked by now.
Yeah. Yep.
She does come around pretty quickly after a while. She realizes, oh right, Hazumu is still Hazumu regardless. She kind of comes to that realization and kind of, okay. And then, and of course, probably also would not surprise me for her is also the weird struggle with her own sexuality, in the sense like, all of a sudden, I'm still attracted to a girl. What does that mean?
Yep. Also an interesting dichotomy between Tamari and Hatsumi that shows up. Hatsumi was always, you always act like a girl.
Yep. And Tamari
got the opposite.
Tamari's a tomboy.
Oh, you act... and people would always tell her, oh, you act like a boy.
Yep. To the point, when she says she wants a yukata for the summer festival, her family freaks out because, who are you? What'd you do with Tamari?
Oh, yeah, that one. She runs home, busts in the door. I need you to buy me a cute what, kimono?
No.
Summer kimono?
Yukata.
Or something like that? Yeah. And they're just, what? Who are you? Yeah.
What? Who are you? What is this? What's going on?
What happened to you?
But yeah, the large chunk of it is basically you got Yasuna and Tamari both kind of vying for Hazamu's affection, and to varying degrees of success. Often both of them getting into others' way, intentionally or not.
Yep.
And then, whoops, they kind of come to an agreement of we can't hurt her, so we're just kind of sit in this holding pattern of nothing happening.
That doesn't work.
And then it doesn't work, especially since, oh, hey, look, there's misunderstandings, and that causes further drama, and oh, geez. Until eventually, we get to the bit where it's like Hazamu actually has to make a decision and all that stuff. Because one of the things is Hazamu is very indecisive as a person, and has always been. Mm-hmm. And basically now you have to make a decision, or you're gonna hurt yourself and 2 other people in the process.
Yep. Because at that point, after the there was an argument between Tamari and Yasuna that ended up with Yasuna no longer being able to see women either.
Anyone.
Yeah. So
because anime disease again.
Period. Yep.
I'm now heartbroken, therefore I can see nobody.
Yeah, and then the space aliens go, well, yes, that's the same disease that all of us have, and we're hoping to find a cure, and we think it's the power of love.
Yeah, that was the thing. The space aliens, the reason they're there is because apparently their whole race is kind of like, about people now, and relationships in general, just, So now he's hoping to fix it, and so that's why he's there in the first place, and that was the other thing. He said bye, but he actually stuck around because, shh. So he then pretends to be a biology teacher and whatnot, and he's just living in Hazamu's house, and parents are cool with it because whatever. Oh yeah, I forgot my parents are weird. And then the ship comes down as poo, and shows up and
remember that's spelled P-U-U, not P-O-O.
Right. Yeah, they're observing, and the whole thing is they're hoping to fix their problems by observing them, and that's why he keeps pushing Hazamu towards Yasuna, because he thinks that Yasuna is the key to all this, because she seems to be suffering the same thing and all that stuff. And I guess it kind of worked, although, yeah, I'll again get into that a little bit.
We're getting to that point. We might as well.
The other thing is, Pooh is that she seems to see the crash as her first kiss. With Hazamu.
I mean, sure, I guess.
That was the other thing. Was the
it was basically face-to-face contact.
How Pooh addresses Hazamu is a little is the Oni sama. Yeah, you know.
Sister brother is how it translated.
Brother sister.
Yeah.
Sister brother, and it's like
sister brother.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a that's another one of those like not sure I like that. Yeah, those are the things like there's different frequent pronoun issues and whatnot. That's one of the big unfortunate things.
And without actually knowing Japanese, I can't tell if it's a translation thing or
and then
not.
There's the kun honorific, which is usually used for guys, but not necessarily, and that's kind of a thing because I've heard in other anime girls, cis girls being referred to with the kun honorific. So it's like,
yeah, I wonder if the kun honorific in Japanese it's for guys, but not always. It's similar to our use and like what I just used, the term guys.
Yeah. It's typically used for men, but sometimes used on women. It's not very common for that to happen, though, is my understanding.
Yeah. I don't know enough about Japanese.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a whole thing. There's that love triangle thing, and then, Hazamu feels guilty about, messing up Yasuna further, and and Yasuna is pretty much just gonna bail out entirely, I guess, because what am I gonna do? And Hazamu gets through to her, and power of love fixes her. Now she can see everybody just fine because Hazamu confesses to Yasuna.
Yep, and picks her.
And then they break up. And then we jump forward 3 or 4 months, and now it's Christmas time, and now it's clear that Hazamu is trying to get to, getting through to Tamari, and Tamari is just kind of running away all the time. Because she's good at running.
She's very good at running.
And then eventually confessions, and finally, they get together like for real with a big old like literally wedding
in the sky.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'll just say the ending gets a little weird.
The ending gets a little weird.
Yeah, and that's another thing
really
is it's weird how Yasuna is kind of a threadbare, outside of her little disease thing, is kind of a bit of a threadbare character in many ways comparatively.
Yep.
Until the final episode where suddenly she has a personality.
Yeah. It's like on all of this, Yasuna is supposed to be this important person, but I didn't really care about her all that much, honestly.
Yeah.
She's fine, but
she's just, the poor sick girl.
Honestly, I felt bad for Tamari.
Yeah.
And she should have been the first choice.
Yeah.
I don't care about the rule. Obviously, they ended up fixing it in the end. I don't care about the rule of the childhood friend never being the choice. I don't care about it. That's who it should have been.
What I find interesting, so Hazumu was just struggling because she clearly cares about both of them a lot. We even saw that, we even see here in the final episode that, Hazumu took, the breakup with Yasuna pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
And,
because Yasuna wanted to
stand on her own.
After she was essentially cured and she was able to, get herself recentered, she realized that I need to be able to stand on my own and I can't be attached to someone else. And Hatsumu's kindness would spoil her. So she has to be alone and walk on her own. Yeah,
and it's pretty clear though she still cares about her. It's pretty clear. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of obvious, but Yasun is like, I'm just gonna step out of the way though, because I need this for myself, and she needs that too. This is the best. And it does kind of feel like, it does kind of feel in a way like, okay. So hey, Tamari, listen, things with Yasun didn't work out, so you are, I guess, my second choice.
Yeah, and that was actually kind of brought up too a little bit. Like, are you what Ayuki told her is like, are you sure you really think through this? Because I was like, do you want to be stuck with? Oh yes, I was just your second choice. Great,
cool.
But I think in this case it is a little different because Hatsumi really couldn't pick. They were both the first choice.
Yeah. But it's the other thing is Ayuki there is the one who's often giving out advice, often cryptically, because he's talking about the stage and whatnot. It's like, speak plain language.
Ayuki likes to watch, for one.
She watches.
She's an interesting. You know who she reminds me of? What's his face from that paintball anime we watched? The one who doesn't want to be involved but really likes to watch. Yeah, that's who she,
paintball.
The one with the like the girls' academy and there's a paintball club.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember I don't remember.
And there's one guy. There's one guy.
There wasn't a guy though. Are you thinking of Bloom Into You?
I don't know. There was someone.
The one with the one with the Bloom Into You. Whether you read the manga, there was the guy named Maki who was asexual and aromantic who just watched other relationships develop and whatnot.
I might be mixing things together because my head does that a lot, and that might be the one I'm thinking of.
Because the paintball one had no real major male character in it.
I'm conflating stories in my head.
Boy, are you?
I'm okay. That's something that my head does, and I have to constantly fight against. So yes, it reminds me of that one.
Yeah.
Of that one.
Yeah.
But yes, Ayuki. The idea in my head that she formed when I was watching her, she's the one who doesn't speak much, but when she does, she speaks few words that move mountains.
Yeah.
Because every time she opened her mouth, while her words were cryptic, they hit exactly where she intended it. And they did exactly what she needed them to do. It's one of those, when she speaks, things happen, and she knows. Yep. She's also super observant.
Yeah, things like get on the stage or get off. You can't just sit there waffling.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's like, I'm choosing to stay off the stage, although there's implies there is someone she likes, but she never says who. There's vague implication. Actually, maybe Hazumu herself, but whatever. It's incredibly vague.
That'd be something. Yeah, it is vague.
Hope
she also likes butterflies.
Jeez. Have some standards, woman.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the other thing was she was talking about there's a plant because we got Hazamu at the point where Hazamu's just sitting there like with that holding pattern of Yasuna and Tamari. And she's like, listen, these two plants, they're both dying because you refused to save one.
Yep.
You got to make a choice.
Yep, they both can't grow in the same pot. You gotta pull one of them so the other can live.
Yeah.
But
yes,
people aren't plants. And if all parties are in agreement, Polly is perfectly fine.
But it makes it kind of clear. Yeah, that's the thing it makes it kind of clear that these three aren't going to work in a Polly thing. It's not going to work. Yeah, that's
like Hatsumu totally could pull it off. I could see Hatsumu being Polly.
Hatsumu, yeah.
No issues, but
Tamari and Yasuna.
Tamari and Yasuna, no.
No, they would not be able to pull it off. No, Tamari's way too easily jealous, for one thing.
Yep.
Yasuna seems to often also assume the worst.
Yasuna, she's got some baggage.
Yep, that's another thing. The baggage is going to hurt her.
She's got some baggage that she needs to work through, and she needs someone who can help her work through it.
Yep. Time for some therapy, girl.
I would definitely think that she's suffering from depression from her condition.
Mm-hmm.
That's been causing some of that. So yeah, she's got some baggage that she definitely needs to work through. But
also, real briefly, Namiko, the teacher.
Oh right,
yep.
I didn't really care
she's
for
obsessed with finding a boyfriend because she's 35, never had a boyfriend. Which in Japan, 35 is old. You're past your expiration date.
Yep. She was basically just a kind of a joke.
She's a joke character, but she also does the thing is she cares about her students and whatnot. We clearly see, although the whole thing is she's basically a running joke of just she just fell down a hole or out the window or whatever again. Like that was the whole thing. Like the first time she falls out the window, they freak out. The second time they freak out a bit more, and then the last time we see it, they're like, just whatever, go back to work.
Yep. Or I'm going to take care of my students, and immediately falls in a hole.
Yeah, but then she meets Hitoshi and immediately
falls in. Yep.
He doesn't care initially.
Immediately disregards her.
Not important.
It's like, not important. Moving on.
But then there's a whole thing where it's like she, even when he's invisible, because he can do that.
Yes.
She can sense that he's there. And he's like, huh, that must be the power of love.
Power of love.
Exactly. And apparently he starts to, I guess something, whatever, with asking to help his race and him, because he seems to start to reciprocate at the end. We see that very briefly,
Stockholm
although
syndrome.
He disappears with her. Which, I don't know.
Sure. She's probably perfectly fine with that.
Go out and explore space with a hot guy? Sure, why not? Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, that's the other thing is, I find it weird. The anime seems to largely be pushing, like everyone's pushing Hazamu towards Yasuna, particularly, the space alien guy. He's like, you got to go with it's like obviously everything seems to be pushing Hazamu towards Yasuna. It's like, you gotta, everyone, and then goes, no, wait, forget that, go to Tamari.
Yeah.
So it's really weird whiplash between episodes 12 and 13.
Yes. The whiplash between those two. Like, okay, so the space alien guy it's perfectly understandable why he would push those two together, because he's trying to accomplish a very specific goal that involves Yasuna. But everyone else is just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Come on. Tamari deserves this.
Yeah.
Just let her have this, please.
Nope. Can't have it. You're the childhood friend. You lose.
No, I don't care. Like I said earlier, I don't care about the rule. It's a stupid rule.
It's a bad rule. It's a dumb rule.
It is.
So it's a bit of weird whiplash. I mean, they're already kind of setting up for it at the end of episode 12 and whatnot, but it's like still really weird.
Oh man, that section, episode 12, the final day. God, that was heart wrenching at points.
Yeah. Is this like, yep, Tamari and Hazamu hanging out for the last time, supposedly.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it sucks. It's weird. Man, they really make you feel really bad. Like, it's like almost like this is almost like surprise. It's actually about the angst of Tamari as she loses.
Yeah.
And then, nope, she wins.
She wins in the end.
She even got a wedding ceremony and everything.
Yeah.
A magical one. On Christmas.
Which apparently, Yeah, which apparently violated the space law.
Yeah. Rules are made to be broken.
Rules, they're merely suggestions.
Yeah, it's just weird how they just all of a sudden everyone's pushing Hazumu towards Tamari out of nowhere.
Yep. You should have been doing that from the beginning.
I just find it weird. Yeah. Also, hey, look, another anime ends with a Christmas episode. It's almost like it was planned or something.
Almost like you planned it.
Beyond that, there's a whole lot to say beyond those things. Yeah, it's very interesting, the general themes and stuff. And I think stuff reading into this is stuff I would call reading into things that probably were not intended, but I'm going to see it anyway because of what it had meaning for me. Because I watched this when I was 18. Title. I was fresh out of high school. YouTube was brand new. Google Videos was still around. I watched this on Google Video. And I heard someone. This happened because I was. It was one of those A to B leads to B leads to C. Here you go. Here's a link. Basically, it was one of those things. And someone's like just talking about, this new anime just came out. The boy turns into a girl, and it's a love triangle. It's a lesbian love triangle. And like, here's a link. Okay, I'll watch that, I guess. Because this is also when I was also learning that hey, it's okay to not be straight.
Yeah, unfortunately, that didn't start happening for me for another couple of years.
Yeah, I was this is still also feeling the Christian guilt for being okay with this sort of thing.
Yeah,
that weird simultaneous thing. It's okay. No, it's not. But anyway, I watched the whole thing, and something in my brain clicked. I didn't really know at the time what the heck that was about. I just remember something about the idea of boy turns into girl became really appealing. I got sucked into that super hard, like for a while. And I was looking up, Rule 63 is something of course. Of course. If it exists, there's an opposite gender version of it.
Yep.
And of course, most of them are just basically turn male character you like into, female characters, and now you can jerk off to them.
Right.
And not feel weird about it. But yeah, that's usually what it winds up being.
You probably still should anyway, just because, well.
But then, of course, also because of this, I wound up, falling into several rabbit holes, shall we say, on the internet as a teenager. Including, transformation. The troll transformation subculture. That's a fun one.
Oh.
Fetish of sorts, somewhat. And for me, it is a fetish.
Yeah. It is, but it's one of those weird categories of it.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm also finding stuff like the webcomic Misfile. Yeah, finding these things, all these things that are kind of deal with the same thing, and just being so fascinating. Why is this so appealing? All that stuff, and looking at the transformation, all this transformation fetish, not because there's any sexual reason, just kind of, I just really like the concept, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I wonder why.
Yeah, because my dumbass self just could not figure it out. It took me another 10 years to really come to terms with the idea that maybe it isn't. Maybe there's a reason for that. And when it first popped in my head, I panicked. Hey, maybe it's because you're a girl.
What? Oh God, no!
Yeah.
No, it can't.
I was in my late 20s by the time that really kicked in my head. And that part of it was probably because ignorance. At that time, it was like, I didn't know a damn thing about trans anything when I was 18. I was, grew up in a conservative household.
Important. Yep.
I didn't know anything. Yep. My only exposure at the time was to anything trans was Rocky Horror Picture Show in an episode of Law and Order. And I remember that was if I recall, from my memory, that was a very transphobic thing, because basically it was they were trying to nail this one guy for something he supposedly did, but they didn't really have good enough evidence. And then, there's a girlfriend. Oh wait, they got the DNA of the girlfriend. Wait, it came back male. Your girlfriend's a boy. That sort of thing. And then he's like, no, what? And then finally he sees the evidence. It's true. And then they meet up, and he knees her because she didn't have the surgery yet. And she wasn't going to tell him until after the surgery. So, he knees her, and then starts screaming at her, and it was like, that's my, so when, those are only two exposures to anything trans, is like, you don't really have much information to work with, and what you do is kind of bad and wrong.
Yeah.
So no wonder I was completely oblivious.
Yep. Which is why good representation is so important.
Yeah. Thanks, Lily. So waiting on the second season, by the way, for Zombieland Saga. It's been 2 years since it aired.
Oh, wow.
Still haven't had, the second season was announced, still hasn't shown up, but yeah. Yeah, so for me, that was the thing, was this was like my first real exposure to the idea, and I even to the point of like of the OC, which I never shared with anyone, because why would I share things I made with people? That's scary. That's judge
terrifying.
it. They might judge it.
That's terrifying.
My OC, which was, basically as most people's OCs are for often, particularly their first OC, it's me, but cooler.
But cooler. I'm you, but stronger.
Yeah. And, and at the time I was also big into Kim Possible, and that was the thing was, my OC going on adventures and those people, right? All these stories that I had, but, of course, never actually shared. Because that's scary.
That's terrifying.
But of course, eventually my stupid self actually engineered a very complicated method through stuff that was in the show for my OC to become a girl. And I didn't think anything about that. It just didn't occur to me.
Just wasn't there.
It just somehow it did that, and just, yeah, it's like that, and eventually went down the line as like the, oh God, what if, and then accepting it. And yeah, it's like all these, then looking back at, oh my God.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, all these things, not only just these things, but other little things throughout my life. And it's like, how did I not figure it out? Because you're an idiot. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
And like, so yeah, the whole idea, like, it took an alien spaceship crashing into her for her to figure out she's a girl. It's like, yeah, mood.
Yeah. So like, I wonder if there's a better phrase, because the common phrase for this would be like, this movie planted the seed.
Yeah.
That made you realize.
Yeah.
Except I also want to change the phrase into some use of an egg.
Yeah, exactly. It was an egg. The egg experience anime.
The egg experience.
Yeah. It's the one that kind of makes something click in your brain that you don't quite get probably initially. But yeah, that's the other thing what I was getting to there was stuff that probably not intended was like reading. So I say Hazumu is a girl. It's like, I'm gonna say that Hazumu's a girl, always was a girl, just didn't figure it out until an alien spaceship crashed under her.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I was saying earlier that it felt like that's what it was pushing anyway, because that's what
I'm almost certain, based off a lot of stuff, that was not necessarily intent, but death of the author and all that.
That's the way I got it.
Yeah, death of the author and all that. But my thing is, it's like, as we saw, Yasuna's whole BS anime disease, I can't see men, but she could see Hazumu, and that would like credence to the idea that Hazumu was always a girl, just didn't know it yet.
Right, and another thing that I had thought, like, that when I immediately saw the complete insanity of the spaceship thing, it's like, how can an alien race that has that level of technology, that can completely reconstruct a human body from scratch, make a mistake like a, quote, mistake like that they can't correct? So it's like, okay, they rebuilt from what they saw, and what they can see is female, because Hazumu is a girl.
Yep. Hazumu.
And that's why their reconstructed her in a girl's body, because that's what she was.
Yep. So that's the thing, and also I would also say, because the thing is, Yasuna, under the implication would be say Yasuna is gay, and well.
Obviously, that's the other one. That's what I before I even knew about her anime disease, before they explained, that was my running theory, is like, she's a lesbian, but she doesn't think that's okay, so that's why she's having issues. Yeah.
That's the other thing. There's the unfortunate thing is there's some undercurrents of homophobia here and there, because that's the thing, the good old girls can't love girls thing.
Yep.
Is that okay? That's a part of it. So you're actually seeing these characters kind of struggle with the idea of like, is it okay for me to be attracted to her?
Yep. And in the end, they decide, yes. I don't care. I am anyway.
Yes. And that was actually I found funny is like the alien guy Hitoshi is like, wait, do you guys disapprove of same-sex relationships?
Yeah, I was like that. Wait, what? What do you think that's what?
Like one of those the superior the advanced alien going down like, really? You think that's bad?
Y'all are stupid.
Boy, you guys are backwards and primitive. Yeah, so stuff like that, and Hazumu, Hazumu just kind of struggling with the initial struggle of like, okay, how do I be a girl? How do I do this? Like, and this is the stuff that a trans girl is going to screw up and struggle with, and things like, yeah, don't sit like that because you're just showing yourself off to the world. You can't sit like you used to, especially if you're going to wear a skirt.
Yep.
Or yeah, you're expected to wear the skirt even though it's like, just above freezing outside. You still got to wear the skirt.
Yep. God, I could not handle a uniform.
Yeah.
Like
Also,
that.
yeah, there's an extra piece of clothing you have to buy now.
Oh, right.
Also, don't go outside without it, especially when your male best friend is out there.
Yep.
Whoops.
Yep.
Yeah, also those things. Yeah, all these things. And it's unfortunate that when you see it, also a lot of the things is like, these are things you have to watch out for as a girl just because, well, society doesn't care about you. Society is very male-centric and does not give a crap that you are uncomfortable.
Yep.
And yeah, you are going to have to make sure the guy is comfortable because, yep, it's all about him. You just live in his world. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, that's like, you got to wear the skirt, but you also got to make sure to cover yourself so that he can't see your panties.
Yep. Well, what was that line that Aoki? It was in the last episode.
Yeah,
Tamari wakes up and Aoki's base is standing over her.
I can see her.
And it's like, I can see, she just, I'm trying to remember what his line is like, yeah, well, I got nothing to, or something, nothing to lose, or something like that. I can't remember the exact line. But it's just like, she don't care.
Yeah, because they basically kidnapped Tomari in the last episode.
Basically.
You are being rescued. Please do not resist. Yeah, it's just that whole scene is basically standing over Tomari. Tomari's, I can see your panties. Like, irrelevant. Come with me.
Yep.
Yeah. So apparently the manga has stuff about like Hazumu for some reason is only 1 month to live because reasons the alien process, and then somehow was okay again. And apparently the manga also is much harder pushing Hazumu towards Tomari and not Yasuna.
Interesting.
I think that's part of the reason why there's a whiplash, because they had to make it realign with the manga for the final episode.
That would make sense. That would definitely make sense.
Yeah, there's some nonsense there for sure. Also, there's a reveal in the manga that Ayuki always knew that the alien was an alien. Like, she figured it out pretty quick, and like, yeah, whatever.
It would also make sense for Ayuki to figure that out. She's incredibly smart and observant.
Yep. Yeah, it was a big deal for me back when I was, it pushed me down a road that I did not realize I was going down. It just, something clicked in my brain. I'm just like trying to, I got all obsessed with this concept of boy turns into girl. And I didn't understand why it was so appealing. I just liked it a lot. It just seemed like a good idea.
Yep.
Did you?
Yep.
You mean I can be a girl and kiss all the girls? Yes.
And
what?
And I could be a girl and still kiss all the
fellas. Is it gay to be a girl and kiss other girls?
Yes, actually.
Fair enough. But yeah, the other thing is also it's aimed at guys. It was intended. This was aimed at a male audience and not a female audience. But yeah, apparently there's also a game.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
A visual novel game on the PS2.
Okay, that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see how that works.
Yeah, it's the other weird thing I guess would be essentially, if you were rooting for Yasuna for whatever reason, you just stop at episode 12. You get to the end credit and you stop. When that last end credits, when that last end credit word leaves the screen, you stop.
Stop.
Don't watch the rest of the episode, and don't watch the 13th one. Then there you go. You get your happy ending. But if you've been rooting for Tamari the whole time, you keep watching all the way to the 13th episode.
Tamari's the best.
Gee, I wonder why you like Tamari, the tomboy.
Tamari is the best.
It's almost like you like tomboys.
Kind of, yeah. I wish I had someone like that. I wish I had a friend like that. That would have just been great. But Aoki's really cool as well. I like her intelligence and how her. Yes.
She's the type who would later. I bet later on. I know. I'm not going to say I told you so, but I totally told you so.
Well, I don't know if she would actually
like
say that. She would just do that entire phrase in just one look. She would just look at you, and you just point at her and just go.
That was the weird thing.
Shut up! I know.
She also got a little bit more characterization in the 13th episode as well. A little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
She's more willing to kind of joke around than she was in the previous 12 episodes. And that's somehow got dumber.
Try as you might, Aoki, your wings will flourish, just not in the way you expected.
Yeah.
A slightly different way.
So yeah, this was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
But it's also...
I can definitely see why.
Really, yeah, so it's just like that, it just hit at the right time in the ways, but it just took me a long time to figure it out.
Yeah. Kind of stereotypical, too. That you look back, go, I can't say those words on recording. Yeah, you look back and realize how much of an idiot you were.
Oh, so that's how it is. Yeah, but, it was a large chunk of it was just because of ignorance, because of, how I grew up.
Yep. But
it was definitely a healthy dose of just stupid.
Yeah. I think the ignorance and just how people are raised does play a lot into it, because we haven't really started to see good representation for any sort of non-binary until
very recently.
Quite recently.
Yep.
So
it's gonna be a while.
Could you?
Yep.
How could you have possibly known?
Yep.
There was nothing. So
parents aren't going to teach me that crap. Why would they?
No, they would have. They'll actively teach you the opposite.
Yep. No, don't. It's bad. Why though?
Because I said so. Because this book says so.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't, though. It says nothing about this.
Really doesn't. In fact, it may even say the opposite.
Yeah. So it just kind of hit something in my head and just took me a while to figure it out.
It began the process.
Yeah, it began a process which took almost another 12 years or so to really... Actually, more closer to 10 or 11, but yeah. Still just... Yeah, I watched it when it was pretty much brand new. I guess that's more or less it without me getting too really deep into really personal stuff.
We're starting to ramble on the show.
If you want to watch it, good luck. It's not on any streaming service. I had to hunt down the DVDs, and I found links on the internet, but half of them were dead, and the other half were incomplete or with Spanish subtitles. So if you speak Spanish, great. If you don't, well,
then not very helpful.
I did, there are copies floating around eBay for the whole set of all 3 volumes for $25 ish. If you want to check it out, it's going to cost you a bit. I can't find a good source in general online. It's not on any legal streaming site. So yeah, again, good luck. It's old. And the DVDs, found the 3 DVDs I had to hunt down. I had to go through Amazon and Walmart of all places. A third-party seller on Walmart had the first 2, and I had to get the third one on Amazon from a Goodwill in Colorado.
Oh, jeez. Jeez.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really digging around.
Yep, I had to dig around, but I found them because it's this is important. I've kept meaning to go find this and watch it again because I can't remember all the details. And I forgot things like the dad's a perv. I totally forgot that. I forgot about the teacher being a clumsy dork. I just remembered, all I remembered was alien spaceship crashes into someone, turns him into a girl, and then there's lesbians.
Yeah,
and it had a huge effect on my life.
Yep.
Also, fun fact, these 3 main characters, Hazumu, Yasuna, and Tamari, are all played by VAs who have played in other things that we have watched on this for this. Let's see.
Not surprised.
Hazumu's VA has also been in Railgun.
Oh, nice.
And Stella Women's Academy High School Division Class C3. The Airsoft anime.
Yep.
Yasuna's VA was in, where was it? Oh, actually, Higurashi. We haven't watched that one. Yeah, that's the one that just popped up with all the murder and stuff. Bodacious Space Pirates, though.
Hey.
Remember the nerdy hacker girl? The one
yes.
who, yeah, her.
Huh.
Played her. And the voice actor for Tamari played Nui in Kill la Kill.
I don't know how to feel about this.
I don't know if I like this or not.
Tamari was great. Nui.
Ooh,
Oh.
ooh. Oh. Apparently, they're also both in Camphor, another series about a boy turning into a girl. Although that one is a little kind of somewhat more sexist in many, many, many ways. Weirdly sexist. Including the main character who whenever turned into a girl complaining about how being a girl sucks and boys are way better and all sorts of weird stuff. I didn't like that one so much, but apparently for someone else I've talked to, for them it was an experience anyway, so whatever.
Interesting.
Because their thing was like, why would you want to go back to being a boy? Why are you such a hurry? Just be a girl. It's awesome, right?
Oh, wait. Projecting much?
Yeah. For me, it was just like, because I watched it only like last year. Out of curiosity, because I saw the themes like, well, maybe it's like Kashimashi. No, Kashimashi.
It's not.
Other than this boy turned to girl thing.
Gonna need a lot more than just that to be like Kashimashi.
Anyway. Not just something I thought you'd find interesting that all three of those characters were other things we watched.
Yeah.
That's it, though, for this anime and my personal life nonsense for this one, anyway. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can check out other episodes on newtoweeboo.libsyn.com if you want. All the links are there for all the various destinations and whatnot. You can subscribe to our RSS feed there, but you can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or Amazon Podcasts, although that's not linked yet. Again, still got to fix that. But yeah, you can search for New to Weeaboo on any of those and subscribe via any of those things. And on YouTube particularly, you can like and comment as well. Or you can comment on the Libsyn as well, but I believe you have to have a Facebook account because they changed stuff. It used to just be you could just comment, but now you have to have Facebook. Blech.
No. We won't blame you if you don't want to.
You can just comment on YouTube.
Hey.
Yeah. Anyway, you can also email us if you want to, newtoweeboo@gmail.com if you have questions or comments, or did you actually ever watch this? Is it not as obscure as I think it is? Because my understanding is obscure, because I was talking to someone we both know who was really into Yuri stuff, and they had never heard of it before. So I don't know. Maybe it's obscure, maybe it's not. I don't know. I've heard the manga is way better. I don't. But anyway, maybe I'll check that out too.
Yeah, you might want to.
Maybe, but if you are, maybe you want to watch it now. Maybe you want to hunt it down because of this, or maybe you have anime suggestions for us to watch in the future. Why not?
Yep. Maybe you want to let us know if you had an egg-experienced anime.
Yeah. You have to also follow us on Twitter @NewToWeeaboo, and you can see us, tweet things out, including the new episodes of the show up and whatnot, random observations, all that stuff. Or you can follow personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1, and he's at Alcatraz717, and an underscore at the end. Yep, still Transformers for me. Also, I was listening to a Synthwave Madoka Magica album, so that was that thing.
Always a good option.
Yeah, it is a good option. It's very good. I'll probably link it to you.
I fell into my hardstyle trap again, but I haven't. Also, when I say trap, I mean like a physical trap, not the genre trap.
Yeah.
Not physical, but
rabbit hole. Hardstyle rabbit hole.
That's one.
That's a better way.
But a melodic one.
Yeah.
But I haven't been tweeting about that because I don't tweet about pretty much anything.
Tweet more.
This last week I haven't been doing much of anything except working on a car.
You can tweet about your car after you're done. Just say, I hate my car's stupid braking thing. Stop braking on me, car.
I love my car.
I want to love you.
But it's
Stop hurting me with your love.
Garbage. I love my car, but
love hurts.
The stress. Like, if I had another car.
Yeah, but love hurts, doesn't it?
Not be stressful. It does.
Anyway,
that's why I don't want to break up with you, car.
That was the last episode. This is the last episode for 2020. Join us in 2021. We'll be kicking things off with Love Live Nijigasaki High School Idol Club.
Here we go. Back into Love Live.
Back into idol hell.
Back into idol. Except for some of us You probably never left Idle Hell.
Never. I've been playing that game every single
You
day.
live in Idle Hell.
I've been playing those games every single day, actually. Yes, we'll be kicking off the new year with that, and we'll see what you think of it. Because I've already been watching it.
We shall see. We shall.
Hope you tune in then. Hope you guys have a happy new year. All that stuff. And we shall see you next time. So, see ya.
Bye.